Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming here today and joining our session. Today, you will hear about the generative AI and new capabilities, how it's going to shape your businesses and the whole economy in the world over the next few years.
Did you know that analysts estimate that generative AI will increase the global GDP by 7% over the next 10 years? And that 2/3 of all the jobs in US and in European Union, so our jobs, will be directly impacted by generative AI. The Gen AI market will reach over 100 billion by 2030. My name is Naya, and I lead a global team of solutions architects in the strategic accounts, the big organizations. And I'm here today with Jamila, solutions architect in the startup segment. And we are going to dive into the business impact of generative AI from startups to enterprises. So please raise the hand who of you has been using Gen AI privately as a consumer. For example, I have created last week a song for my friend for her birthday. Okay, I see here many hands. Jamila, you as well. What did you do? Tell us.
Well, I've been using Gen AI for in my personal life as well, and recently I've been using it to plan my vacation trip to Italy, which will be in the next few weeks, and I can't wait.
That's nice to hear. Yeah, generative AI has taken the world by storm because we all have been able to experience how powerful it is. Honestly, I never thought I could create a song. I don't even know how to write or read music, but here I am. And while a lot of attention has been given about how consumers use generative AI, there is a bigger opportunity on how organizations can use generative AI to create new experiences for their customers or for employees. So now, raise the hand. Who is using now generative AI to be more productive at work? Okay, well, right. I see also like many. Generative AI goes beyond a chatbot or an app to create a song. It will transform every aspect of how organizations operate. And how is working? Why is so powerful generative AI? Actually, generative AI is powered by foundations models. It is not magic. It's just the latest evolution of a technology that has been evolving over the years. Actually, Gen AI is how I dream artificial intelligence should look like when I first studied artificial intelligence in the university like over 20 years ago. These foundation models now can be pre-trained on vast amounts of data, and they are capable of learning complex concepts because they contain a large number of parameters. And with this knowledge, they can apply it to a wide range of context. The real excitement comes on how you can now customize these foundation models using only a small amount of the compute and data that you will need to train a model from scratch. We are going to see now some categories of use cases for generative AI. So first one, you can also enhance your customer experience. Do you have some experience with that?
Absolutely, Naya. I'm glad you asked. So I'm solutions architect working with startup customers, and what I'm seeing in startup segment, how startups are utilizing generative AI, is that well, you all know that they are resourceful. They need to be extra careful in which part of the segment of their business they pour their resources. And what I'm seeing so far, startups are using to better personalize their products for their consumers. So on top of that, they're also using it for chatbot, for customer experience, for example, so they can provide the best possible customer experience for their customers, so they can increase their runway.
I've also seen like how to boost employee productivity and creativity. Actually, I created an app that helps me every month in my monthly business reports. It helps me to get the trends, summarize information. And of course, there is the part of the business operations. We are seeing now different use cases in the different verticals. Do you have experience with some of them?
Yes, indeed. So I'm working with healthcare, life sciences startups and fintech startups. What I'm seeing so far is that generative AI has the capabilities to transform and create new microbiological structure for drug discovery, which means that it can accelerate the whole process of drug discovery that can take usually years into several month, for example, while also reducing the cost. On the other hand, fintech customers are more cautious and conscious about their security. The platform that they are building needs to be secure for their end users, for the businesses that they sell. For example, if it's a financial services, they're using it for fraud detection, for financial documentation, for portfolio management. Naya, tell us about other industries.
In strategic accounts, we work with different verticals, and we've seen lately, we've been in discussions about operational efficiency, or also how to customize the subscriber or the end consumer experience too. We're going to see now in detail how this actually works. Jamila, you start telling us.
Thank you, Naya. I would love to. Generative AI is the next step in artificial intelligence, and it's going to change and reinvent the way how we interact with applications, be it at home or at work. And we at AWS are committed to our customer success. Why? Because we are intimately familiar with what it means to reinvent ourselves, because we've done it over and over and over again. And we are here to help you to reinvent your businesses. From startups to strategic accounts and big enterprise organizations, customers are getting started with generative AI. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Here you see three macro layers of generative AI stack. The bottom layer is the infrastructure that is used to build and train foundation models and running inferences on them. The middle layer is about tools to build with large language models and have access to these models, where the top of the stack is about applications that leverage these models, specifically for people who don't have knowledge around generative AI industry or specialization. Let's double click on the bottom layer, infrastructure for foundation models. Well, foundation models, there are two main types of workloads. It's training and inference. So training is to create and improve the machine learning models by learning from a large amount of data, learning specifically patterns, where the inferences actually uses these patterns to generate an output, be it a text, image, or a video. You can imagine these workloads can consume massive amount of compute power. So to make generative AI use cases economical, feasible, accessible for everyone, you need to have an infrastructure where you can run these large language models. You can experiment with these models while you have a performant infrastructure. Probably some of you already thinking about GPUs. And probably some of you already know what is a GPU. Well, GPUs are chips that can perform high volume of mathematical computations simultaneously, while also providing the underlying infrastructure for these models to be performant. And here you can see some of the infrastructure, some of the GPUs that are available currently to our customers, and a brief history of our partnership with NVIDIA. And let me tell you a little bit of story about it. In 2010, AWS was the first cloud provider that bring NVIDIA GPUs to the cloud with CG1, the cluster GPU instance. And then again, we were the first to bring one of the powerful instance into the cloud with NVIDIA's P4 instance types. But we didn't stop there, because we are always listening what our customers want. They wanted high-performant, cost-effective GPUs that they can run their generative AI stacks and capabilities. So we have AWS P5 instance type for our customers that are able to provide this instance. The P5 instance can provide amazing performance while also being cost effective. Do you want some numbers? Well, let me give you these numbers. I see some people are nodding. Thank you. So P5 instances are up to 4 times faster and 40% less expensive than P4s. Let me repeat it. P5 instances are up to 4 times faster and 40% less expensive than P4 instances. And they are available to you to get started with generative AI. But we knew we want to give more choices to our customers. We want our customers to experiment and have broad choices of GPUs and infrastructure available. So we innovated all the way down to the silicon, as we did with Graviton for general purpose compute. That's why we created, and now we have AWS Trainium and AWS Inferentia available to our customers. You probably already can guess which one is for what type of workloads, but if not, let me tell you. So AWS Trainium is our purpose-built chip for running training machine learning models on these instances, while AWS Inferentia is our chip optimized for running inferences on those models. But of course, importantly, you also need some tools, right? You need some tools where you can build, you can deploy your machine learning models at scale, including foundational models. So we have Amazon SageMaker, which is our managed service that makes it easy for developers to build, train, deploy, and manage foundation models at scale. In the 6 years that we've launched Amazon SageMaker, we've made powerful feature integrations and innovations, such as tools for MLOps, flexible model deployment, access to the latest and publicly available foundational models, running inferences, customizing foundational models that you build. And most importantly, we also have in Amazon SageMaker, we have built-in feature for responsible AI. If you are building your own models, AWS is relentlessly focused on providing everything you need. Strong infrastructure, best chips, tools to help you build and scale your generative AI applications. AWS has everything you need. But of course, an enormous number of organizations and customers, they just want to get access to the best model out there. They want to get started quickly. They want to innovate. They want their employees to be able to access these models and be efficient in their work. While they want all of this, they have some questions. And we at AWS think that all of these questions are valid. Which model should I use, they ask. How can I move quickly? Most importantly, how can I keep my data private and secure? I don't have answers to these questions. Naya,
I do.
Can I tell us?
Yes.
Thank you.
The answers to these questions is the middle layer of the stack. So customers were asking for tools to build with LLMs and other foundations models in a quick way, in a secure way. And that's why we built Amazon Bedrock. Amazon Bedrock is the easiest way to build and scale generative AI applications with large language models and other foundations models. Customers around the world are already reinventing their operations, their user experiences, and putting AI at the heart of their business. Why Bedrock? When we discuss this with customers, usually it comes to 3 main reasons. The first one is the broad choice of foundations models. The second is how easy it is to customize it. And the third one is security, because that's how it was built from the day one. I'm going to now dive deep more into these concepts. So let's start with the broad choice of models in Amazon Bedrock. So you want to be flexible and you want to choose a model, but often the question, as Jamila said, is like, but which model should I use? Usually I tell people this is like your friends, right? You have a lot of friends, diverse friends, you like them all, but you know some, they are stronger than others. This year I'm going to organize a big birthday party. So I have asked my friend who cooks very well, that she helps me baking a cake. I have other friend who is very good with music, she's going to be the DJ. And I have other friend which has an amazing good taste and is going to help me with the decoration. all my friends are just a phone call away from me. This is like the foundations models for you. You have some foundations model that may be better with contextual answers, others with text generation, others with high quality images. All these models are just an API call from you. And you can combine them, as I combine my friends. So you see here, we have been partnering with foundations model industry leaders, for example, AI21 Labs, Anthropic, Cohere, Meta, Mistral AI, Stability AI. And we have also developed our own Amazon Titan models. We have a strategic collaboration with Anthropic. Anthropic Cloud 3 has high levels of responsiveness and accuracy. And Anthropic is using Trainium and Inferencia, the AWS silicon that Jamila just explained, to train their future models. And we have early access to some of their features. But what matters here is that these models are unique to you. You can have all the models, but you want them to have your context, your data. How do you do that? This is with the customizations options of Amazon Bedrock. There are mainly 3 techniques. And again, I'm going to go here to my friends, because it's exactly the same way that I will do if I wanted to customize a friend. For example, I have my friend. Her name is Katya. She has high levels of reasoning. She speaks German, English. She's very good at maths. So I thought one day, Katya, I'm going to customize you. I'm going to make you become a solutions architect. Maybe one day, she can even join our team. So what will I do with Katya is the same as Bedrock will do with your foundation model. The first question is, how do I get Katya all this context about AWS services and architectures? I will give them, right? I will give her like certifications, blog posts, all our trainings, so she knows what are the services of AWS. This is what Bedrock can do with the first technique, which is fine-tuning. Basically, Bedrock can very easily make that you give the model your context data. For example, level data. You say, this data is strong, so the model learns, OK, this data is strong. Then Bedrock makes a copy of your fine-tuned model, and you can ask questions to that model, and this model will know about your business context. The same now I can ask Katya about what is an EC2, and she knows. The second question, when I thought I'm going to customize Katya, was, but how do I make sure that Katya is up to date with the latest information? So for example, if she has a new question about Graviton 4, how is she going to do? I told her, look, you can go to a blog post, to the Amazon documentation on Graviton, retrieve that information, learn about it, now you are trained. This is exactly what Bedrock does with the second technique, retrieval augmented generation. It makes it easy that your model now can go and retrieve information from a query from OpenSearch, from a document in an S3 bucket, and then get it back and now be trained and be able to incorporate that in the answers to you. But now comes the third question. For me personally, I always say it's very important, the lifelong learning. That's why I will tell Katya, look, now you know a lot of things, you know how to get them, but I encourage you, go to the AWS Berlin Summit, attend sessions, learn more, go to workshops, listen to the AWS podcast, because you always want to be continuously pre-trained. And this is basically the third technique, the continued pre-train. You can get your model and send them unstructured data, internal documentation, your financial reports. This way, you make sure that your model is always learning and learning. But of course, now we have like Katya or your model knows all about your business, but what's the point that know all about the business? We need the foundations model to take action. We want that they book travel, that they develop new software. And that's where it comes the agents. The agents for Amazon Bedrock are able to execute multi-steps tasks across your systems and resources. It's basically they can automate the human flow. They break down and orchestrate the tasks, and they can even execute the AP calls on your behalf. Thanks to the agents, for example, like the models can talk to your customer, talk about the product, check the availability of the product, and place an order in your sales system. The third question that you were talking about is how do we keep the data secure and private? Well, Amazon is taking very seriously the security is designed like this from the day one. We create a copy of your foundation model, and this data there is never used to train any underlying model. Also, the data is encrypted, in transit, and at rest. And all the data that you use from your business context to customize the models is going to always remain within your VPC. It also supports standards as GDPR or HIPAA. And we are adding security capabilities. We have, for example, integration with CloudWatch, so you can track usage metrics. We have integration with CloudTrail to monitor the API activity and what is happening there, and also SOC compliant. But beyond security, we all need that generative AI is deployed in a safe, trustworthy, and responsible fashion. And that is our North Star. The capabilities that make generative AI such a promising tool for innovation also increases this potential of misuse. And we need to find ways to unlock all the generative power, but at the same time, mitigating the risks. We collaborate with other technology companies, with policymakers, with the community, with scientists, with academics. And we've been actively really making a series of voluntary commitments to continue promoting responsible AI. When we talk with customers, one of the things that they have concerns is like, what are going to be the outputs of our models? Maybe are they going to do some harmful output for my customer? And we found that one of the easy ways is to limit also what the output of the model should be. That's why we presented the guardrails for Amazon Bedrock. Basically, it's very, very easy to configure with natural language the content filtering based on your policies, in your AI policies and in your company policies. This is the moment that my birthday party comes and I tell to all my friends, tonight you don't talk about work or about politics. So it's like this. And this is like the middle layer of the stack. We've seen Amazon Bedrock. We have talked about guardrails, agents, customization capabilities. But we believe generative AI should be actually used by everybody in the organization, even those that they don't want to know what is retrieval augmented generation. So how do we do that? Jamila is going to tell us.
Thank you, Naya. And that brings us to the top of the layer of our generative AI stack. We believe that generative AI has capability to change our lives and the way we interact with applications. But some of us, some of you, don't know the Gen AI specifics. As Naya mentioned, the RAG, I don't know, some foundation models. Some of your employees and team members, they just want to get started quickly. But it has its challenges. It brings some challenges specifically with AI chat applications at work. And the reason being, some of these tools that are available out there, they don't actually, quote unquote, work at work. What that means is, like, I personally use generative AI tool as well on my day-to-day work, but I cannot use it to enter customer data. I cannot use it for sharing sensitive data. First, it's not secure. Second, is because it doesn't know who am I and what type of information I actually need. Yes, it can spit some of the information that could be relevant, but it doesn't know my role, it doesn't know my company, my organizations. So it affects the output that it generates. So we listened to our customers. We knew we need to address these two main challenges: security, customization. And that's why we built Amazon Q. It's our generative AI-powered assistant for work that is tailored for you at work. Q lets you get answers quickly with natural language model. It can help you and your employees to get the up-to-date information based on your role, organization and the type of data you actually handle within your organization, while being secure and also customized just to meet your needs within your organization. We take Amazon Q and integrate to various services. We did it with Amazon Q for developers. What it means is that if you're an active AWS console user, like myself, you can go in AWS console and see Amazon Q, and you can type a question, for example, based on my services that I'm running on my AWS account, what is the best reference architecture you can recommend? Or what is the, how can I build 3-tier web application? It will give you an answer, and it will give you resources that you can benefit. It can also be integrated into your IDE, read a piece of code, and debug, and give you a recommendation on how to proceed with your code base, for example. We have Amazon Q for business. When we work backwards from our customers, they usually say, we have various data sources. We want our employees, our organizations, to be able to get the information in a secure manner, in a cost-effective way, and being able to get the most up-to-date information. What that means is that Amazon Q for Business can connect to over 40 popular data sources, including Microsoft 365, Gmail, Slack, Google Drive, Amazon S3. It can connect and pour all this data from various data sources, provide you and your team with the access to get relevant information and data. And let me tell you one thing, it respects your privacy. It respects what type of role you have in your organization, what type of access you have to a specific company data. For example, I'm a solutions architect. I cannot access, I don't know, HR data. So I won't be able to have that access using Amazon Q either. So it knows my role, it knows who I am, what type of access I have, and it will give the relevant information that I need in my company, in my team, within my role. Well, this is my personal favorite. Amazon Q in Amazon QuickSight. If you're not aware, Amazon QuickSight is our AI-powered business intelligence tool. We integrated Amazon Q to our BI tool, and what happens is you can go and type, for example, why the sales was down last quarter in EMEA region. That's it. And it will pull all the data from various sources, and it will create a nice dashboard, saving you many hours of manual work. I use it for that purpose as well. I create monthly business reviews for our senior leadership team, and it saves me many hours, honestly. I just type my question, I won't disclose the question, and it can create a nice dashboard for me. We have also integrated Amazon Q in Amazon Connect. Again, if you're not aware what is Amazon Connect, is our intelligence contact center service. We've heard that our customers, they want to provide the best customer experience for their customers, especially those, the customers who have the customer center, the customers were calling, asking some information, and the agents were not probably able to get the relevant information in real time. So Amazon Q, integrated in Connect, can provide real-time data that your agent needs to provide to your customer. What is also fascinating about that it's easy for onboarding your agents faster with less training. Are you all excited as I am to see it in action? Let's have a look. So this is Q for Business. You can ask a question, product features. It will give you the most up-to-date information as I was discussing. and it can also create some of the features and add it to a third party, for example, Jira. Your AWS console, just ask a question. Understanding your code base, which could be also useful for new joiners in your company. So it can explain in a nice and easy way. It can debug your code. My favorite one. I hope you are as pumped as I am when I was seeing this demo. Well, we learned about the generative AI stack in AWS, which consists of 3 interconnected layers. The infrastructure layer that provides scalable, performant, and cost-effective resources for your AI workloads. The tools for building the foundation models. And the application layer that enables the deployment of these applications specifically for those who doesn't have generative AI specific knowledge. We've covered a lot of ground today and shared several new tools and innovations. We covered how the easiest way to start building your generative AI applications in the cloud with AWS. We covered that data is your main differentiator and your strategic asset for generative AI. We also covered that there are generative AI applications that can enhance productivity of yours and your teams. But there are some questions that probably you are all wondering. I'll let Naya to answer these questions.
Yeah, so how you start your AI journey today? First, start selecting the right use case. What is your pain point? Second, empower your team through training. In the next slide, I have some training resources for you. And third, get started with a proof of concept. So we offer as AWS many training and skills possibilities for you. So you see here the generative AI training for executives. We also help you to build a data-driven plan to accelerate learning. And you have AWS Skills Builder. AWS Skills Builder is for free. It's like a training. You have access to over 600 courses from different topics. And they can be classroom training or also online training. I like very much a Skill Builder because it lets me learn what I want, when I want, wherever I want. We also have made a 100 million investment for the AWS Generative AI Innovation Center, where we put together AWS AI and machine learning specialists with our customers and partners. Actually, yesterday in the dinner, one of my sales counterparts was telling me that today they are having a workshop with them. And finally, we are here to tell you that there's never been a better time to be a builder. And technology fosters innovation, but it's the people behind. So we encourage you to start building today. Thank you very much for joining the sessions. Please, you can always connect with us in LinkedIn. We are here to offer you Gen AI.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you also want travels to Italy or create a song, we're here for you. And please, answer the survey. It's really important for us.
Please reflect your thank you on the survey. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to present to you.